This is going to be awesome. My eyes! My eyes! I'm going to keep it brief, you guys. The Hobbit Unexpected Journey. We follow Bilbo Baggins as he joins Gandalf and a group of 13 dwarves as these dwarves are determined to reclaim their homeland that was overrun by a dragon. And that dragon has also stolen a prized possession of theirs, and they want it back. After that, I'm going to stop. There's a bunch of other stuff in here. There's orcas, there's trolls, all that stuff in there. But I'm going to stop, let you guys all experience for yourself, because this film is awesome. It is truly awesome. It's extremely immersive, and I love this film a lot. Now, I'm going to throw this out there, and this will be the only time I throw this out there, because I do not want to compare this to The Lord of the Rings. I don't think it's fair to do so, but I am a huge Lord of the Rings fan. When you think of epic adventures, few films come to mind. For me, Hunger Games, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, they're all in the boat. And Lord of the Rings is an emotional, epic trilogy. You don't get fit trilogies like the Lord of the Rings. It's incredible to think that we have a trilogy like that. So I was so looking forward to The Hobbit. I am so excited. I was so ecstatic for it. And I went and checked it out at midnight, and I absolutely loved this film. However, as it hurts me to say, it isn't perfect like The Lord of the Rings. And that's where I'm going to stop with my comparisons to The Lord of the Rings. Now, I actually saw the film in 48 frames per second, and a lot of people are either loving it or they're hating it. I thought I would take my time off before reviewing it, so I could really think about it and go see the film not in 48 frames per second, but also in 24 frames per second before I reviewed it, so I can give you my personal thoughts about the film. Personally, I actually like 48 frames per second, but then again, I like new technology. I like seeing new technology. So I really enjoyed the 48 frames per second. I think if you're like that, then you should definitely check it out. It makes the film look extremely bright, and I had no problem seeing what was going on. Everything, there's no blurs, there's no shaky cam, none of that stuff, because that's what 48 frames per second kind of helps get it rid of. I like that. You can also try it with many of your TVs will actually go into 48 frames per second, so you can always try that out and see if you want to do it. The only problem is it messes with the special effects. You can kind of tell what's real and what's special effects, but the special effects in this film are so well done that it's really hard for you to really tell what is special effects and what is not special effects. But after seeing it in 24 frames per second, it really doesn't add all that much to the film. So therefore, I would say if you're one of those people and you don't really care for 3D and you don't really care for the whole 48 frames per second, go see it in 24. It's not going to affect you in no means necessary, and you'll probably actually enjoy it more if you didn't, because there won't be that bridge, will I like it, will I won't. No one in this film is outshined by someone else. Everyone in this film gives phenomenal performances. Everyone in this film is fantastic. There's no one in this film that I was like, he's a little skeptical. No, everyone in this film is fantastic, especially Martin Freeman as Bilbo Baggins. He is an incredible Hobbit and easily probably one of the best Hobbits ever played, if not the best Hobbit ever brought to life. His performance as Bilbo Baggins was absolutely awesome to watch, and he nailed a lot of the humor moments and all that stuff. It was really good. However, if I had to sell you on one reason to buy your ticket, it is when Bilbo Baggins meets Gollum. That is by far the best sequence in this film, and it is so exhilarating and immersive to watch. This part was incredible. And it's such a pivotal part that Peter Jackson had to nail. Because I know I said I wasn't going to go back to the Lord of the Rings, but, well, I lied. You remember that part in the Lord of the Rings when Bilbo Baggins picks up the ring? It's a very short part, but he picks up the ring in Gollum's cave. That happens in The Hobbit. And this is a pivotal moment because this is when we're introduced to Gollum. Not in The Lord of the Rings, but in The Hobbit. So Peter Jackson had to nail this scene perfectly, and he did so. It was incredible to watch. It is the best part of the film, and that's the reason why you should buy your tickets to see this film. I don't care what frame rate you choose to see it in, but if you need a reason to see it in, it is to see that scene. It is absolutely perfect. It is so cool. The dialogue is incredible between them. Gollum looks incredible. Whether it's 24 frames per second or 48 frames per second, he looks incredible in this film. Highest compliment I can give Peter Jackson for The Hobbit is that he nailed the tone for this film. It never felt like we had left Middle-earth. There is a pacing issue in this film, and it's not so much in the beginning. It's maybe 15 minutes into this film. The film drags, and boy does it drag on. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that this is a three-parter film. And they pull a lot from not just from The Hobbit, but from the history of like Middle-earth and stuff. And while it's all fascinating, it felt like this should be information put in the extended edition, not a theatrical edition. This was something I would want to see, like, you know, you would get in your Lord of the Rings extended editions. I would want to see this in my Hobbit extended edition. But instead of making this 2 films like it was originally supposed to be, it got made into 3 films. So now we're basically, in a sense, watching the extended edition in theaters. So therefore, while this backstory of the wizard, while it's great and grand to see and all this stuff, it doesn't really prolong the story in any sense. And it to the point where it made the film drag, and I had issues with that. But besides that, besides the film dragging, once the film gets past that, and it really picks up in the later 2/3 acts. And when it picks up, I mean it gets going, and it's just exhilarating to watch. But I will admit, getting past the wizard story was pretty hard. As a score goes, I am going to give The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey, the first part in Peter Jackson's 3-part trilogy, a 4 out of 5. I know that seems a little low for a Peter Jackson film, but you guys, look, I really did enjoy it. But I'm not gonna lie, the pacing was a little bit daunting. And I did, however, enjoy the 48 frames per second, so that just shows you how much the pacing was a little bit of an issue for me. But overall, I am definitely going to see this film again and again, and I absolutely loved it. So yeah. Until next time, you guys, I'm the Slasher Movie Reviewer, and you guys have just been slashed.